Hello again, people. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. And boy, is the land affordable this week. This is one of these rare examples of dirt cheap dirt that we are ever so occasionally able to offer here on the website. Much of the land in New Mexico there's a lot of expensive land in New Mexico. There's a lot of pricey land in New Mexico. There are some inexpensive pieces of land in New Mexico, but rarely do you find a whole 1 acre of land that can be sold for under $1,000. Fortunately, we have one of those today. And I should mention that this is one of these that tend to sell out quickly, and then I get calls and emails for the next 2 weeks asking me when I'm going to have more. So if you're watching this video, if this is something you're interested in, you should probably act quickly on this. Anywho, with all that said, let's get to it, guys. This specific property is LNNM-0008C, like Charlie, located in Luna County in the southern part of the state. This is 1 acre in the Deming Ranchettes subdivision, and this 1 acre is a combination of 2 adjacent half-acre lots. And as we pointed out up top, this 1 acre is priced affordably at $900. So for under $1,000, you can get 1 acre of land in the state of New Mexico. All right, with all that said, let's pull this up on a map. I know you guys are sick of hearing me say this, but with all of our listing pages, come down here, click on any one of the GPS coordinates, and we'll bring it up here on the Google Maps. So let's pull back, show you where this is in the world of Luna County, and then we'll talk about specifics. All right, for the uninitiated, Luna County is a square little county that borders Mexico down here in the southern part of the state. It occupies pretty much all of this space right here that I'm outlining. Southern boundary is the state line, the border. And the northern boundary is up here just north of Deming. Deming is the county seat. It's got the I-10 running through it. And if you zoom in here on Deming, what you're going to see is this obviously is where you have the dense concentration of population up here. So, as noted, the property is within the Deming Ranchettes subdivision. I like the subdivision for 3 big reasons. Now, the first, let's outline what Deming Ranchettes is. Deming Ranchettes occupies all of this space south of the highway. Everything west of the Goose Egg, there's some part of the subdivision in here, close to Rockhound State Park, and then over here, just east of the Goose Egg, down to about the halfway point. So, point is, it's a massive subdivision. The first thing that I like about it is that what you will typically find in regions like this is that you have all the population concentrated up here, and the further southwest east that you go within the subdivision, you will find that it's poorly maintained. There's no power, there's no utilities, there's nobody living out there. The roads are terrible, blah, blah, blah. This is not the case with Deming Ranchettes. You'll find, number one, that there's power snaking all throughout this subdivision, the entire area that I just outlined. If not on every road, then on every other road. So pretty much anywhere you want to build within the subdivision, you're going to have easy access to utilities, number one. Number two is that the roads I don't know if the roads are necessarily well maintained, quote unquote, so much as it's just a product of the climate down there, which is that the roads never get that bad. They never get that overgrown with weeds or I don't know, brush, what have you. Really, all the roads out here are accessible by any vehicle type, and that's certainly the case that you'll see with the subject property. I'll bring up photos in just a second. The third big thing that I really like about the subdivision is that it's one of these regions where the developer came in, they chopped everything up into thousands and thousands and thousands of half-acre lots, but they sold them 2 at a time. So everybody who owned land out here at one point and then sold it to somebody else ended up having 1 acre and selling 1 acre. Now, this is important because you see a lot of developers in New Mexico who did that, chopped everything up into 1/4 and half-acre lots. And then when zoning law became more uniform in the state in the 70s, and regions like this almost necessitate, well, let's say this. You need about 3/4 of an acre to build in most quote, undeveloped parts of New Mexico. And you can build on it you can build on property that's smaller than that, but it becomes, let's say, prohibitively expensive or difficult, particularly when it comes to installing a well or a septic system on the property because of various environmental laws. That being said, because this entire subdivision maintained 1 acre lots, it did not dramatically decrease in value when those zoning laws became uniform in the 70s. I'm sure that was way too much information that no one was interested in. Whatever the case, point being is that because everything out here are all 1 acre lots, there is the opportunity for more and more development as time goes on. So even when you go, this far south of Deming proper, you're going to see that there's homes out here, there's people living out here, and that will only continue to increase and develop as time goes on because of that acreage threshold. So anyway, with all that said, let's zoom in here, guys, show you the exact property. All right, so the subject property sits here between Acoma Road Southwest and Hondale Ave. It straddles both. It is two adjacent half-acre lots, one of them off of Acoma and the other one right here off of Hondale. You can see an outline of the neighbor's property, its size and shape. This is actually 2 acres, so there's 4 half-acre lots here. Normally, I like to go to the plat map overlay. That, however, does not exist here on Google Maps in Deming Ranchettes. So you're going to have to trust me on this. Or, guys, look at this. You can come down here, see the Google Earth overlay of the exact sort of size, shape, location of the property. Give you a sense of exactly how much real estate this takes up and how much you're going to own. With all that said, let me just go back to the map 1 second. I just want to show you guys. So as you can see, there are homes out here, some pretty nice looking homes from the looks of it. They obviously all have power going to them. There is power here along Hondale. You can see it. If you zoom in, you see the little power lines right there. Really all along the street here. Additionally, if you go onto the subject property, you're also going to see a power line right here and then another one right here. So the point is, it should be very easy, very affordable to hook up to the grid in this region because utilities are ubiquitous out here. Everybody's got them, etc., etc. So that's a nice feature about this property. Let me go to the photo gallery. I'll show you guys some pictures here. So first thing I want to point out, as we say in the headline up here, there is fencing all along the eastern boundary of the property. If you look here on the map, you can see that the neighbor has, carved out their chunk of land and they've marked it. So this is nice because you're never going to have these boundary disputes with the neighbor about this patch of dirt is mine and that patch of dirt is yours. We don't have a lot of good photos of the fencing. We have that one and then we have this. But the point is that the fencing runs all along the eastern boundary of the property. So it will make it easier to determine, your property versus theirs. You can also kind of see that there are underground utilities out here. I wish we had a better photo of this. We do not, however. But point being, utilities are in the region. I should also mention, of course, you've got some very flat, buildable land. This is another nice thing about Deming Ranchettes. Nothing's too rocky, nothing's too hilly, nothing requires $10,000 in excavation and grading before you can even put down a trailer. If you decide to build out here or park a trailer with a cement foundation, it's going to be pretty easy to do, with the exception of some minor brush clearing that you'll have on the lot. And, of course, as you probably saw in the earlier photos, the roads out here, which you kind of get a sense of here, are all, as noted, accessible by really any vehicle type that you have. Another nice thing about the subdivisions you see from the photos, and you'll see these from all the photos that we get out here, which is that because the entire sub surrounds the Florida mountains, you've got these really pretty views off in the distance of the mountain ranges out there. Blah, blah, blah. I will let you guys explore the photo gallery on your own time. I would like to point out, however, that here at the bottom, we do have a drone video. This is a drone video from just the entire region of Deming Ranchettes. So if you haven't been out there before, if you're not familiar with this part of New Mexico, watch the video, and it'll give you a really good sense of property, terrain, and surroundings. Okay, so with all that said, just a couple more things I want to point out. Number one, we have covenants and restrictions marked here in this PDF. If you click on this, it's going to bring this up. Deming Ranchettes has, I don't know, approximately, let's say, 200 units. And each unit, or let's say collections of 3 and 4 units, have their own CCRs, their own covenants, their own restrictions specific to those units. Most of it is largely the same. If you were to read over all 200 units of covenants, you're going to see, very minor exceptions. Whatever the case, this is in Unit 49, so we have the covenants here for Unit 49. You can read through all 3 pages of this. It's really not necessary. Unit 49 is pretty much only laid out here as a single-family dwelling lot unit, let's say. So it's zoned this quote-unquote R1. So point being, if your desire is to come out here and put up a business, it's not a commercial lot. It is a residential lot. And if you were to read through these minor 12 covenants here, what you're going to see is that they're all pretty obvious. There is one thing here I want to point out to you guys, which is minimum square footage on a property, on a structure built on the property should be 600 square feet. This may make this applicable for tiny homes, depending on your definition of tiny. If that describes you, if you're looking for a place in New Mexico where you want to do this, I would encourage you first, just call the county and talk to them about what additional permitting you might need to pull that off. But it is certainly zoned for that, and per the covenants, you are able to have what seems to me to be a pretty tiny structure on the property. Blah, blah, blah. So take the time to read over these on your own. It'll give you some more insights. Really, there's nothing too ridiculous in there, but I always encourage my buyers to acquaint themselves with it. One or two last quick things I want to point out here. County contact information. We also have links here to PNM. Of course, that's the local utility. If you click on that, it's going to bring up their website. And if you want to talk to them at all, try to get some sense of what it's going to cost to get power to the property. Hey, I'm going to build a house out here on this lot. You guys have already got power lines running through it. You can ask about, what it's going to cost to get connected to the grid. My guess is they're probably going to hook you up for free because they're already on the property. And they tend to do that in a lot of places because then they know they have a paying customer. Additionally, you've got a region out here where there's a lot of people living and there are no city water utilities. So a lot of these people have wells. Office of the State Engineer is the website. That's the government body you want to speak to in regards drilling a well on a property. I have not specifically looked up the water table in this region, but based on the amount of people who are living out here, I would assume that it's fairly shallow. Shallow is the good one, I believe. Point being, not super expensive to drill a well out there. But these are all good resources that you can use to learn more about those things if that is your desire. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, guys, with all that said, I just want to say if you do want to buy this property, just come up here, click the Buy Now button. It's going to take you to secure checkout. We're asking for $900 plus the $150 doc prep fee for all of that. We're going to deed the property into your name, and we're going to get it recorded for you. We ask for a couple pieces of information to check out: legal name for deed, tax address, where's the county going to send the yearly bill. And once you agree to the terms of service, click Next. On the next page, you will be asked to enter credit or debit card information and purchase the property. So once you have given us money, as far as we are concerned, you're the new owner of the land. Go out there, knock yourself out, have fun, start doing whatever it is you want to do. Practically speaking, it's going to be about 3 weeks before you will have a recorded deed in your hand. Generally, when people buy a property from us, we contact them immediately. We let them know they're going to have an email from us within 24 hours with a copy of the new deed as well as some supplemental docs. Once you guys approve the deed, we autograph and notarize it and mail it off to the county to be recorded. County records, then they forward on to you. So there's a little bit of red tape in there, but within about 3 weeks, you should have that document in your hands stating that you are the official owner of the property, that it has been conveyed to you. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, with all that said, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you found this informative, and we will see you in the next one.